So I'm very pleased that I have today a new guest, and this guest is a special one I met well, on the flight from Cebu to Manila, and he will introduce himself now. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be invited to your podcast.
And who are you now? And
So I'm Rainier Mozo. I'm actually a practicing doctor. My specialty is internal medicine and genomic medicine. And as of this moment, I'm the chief medical director of a healthcare company, which has the main platform of serving people with our services like cancer testing, and we also have some dermatology services and dialysis. That's all the our company is offering right now.
hmm. And I think a good information for that would be so you're a chief medical officer or director, and
Yes.
connected to that, how old are you? Just to give an
Oh, I'm
impression.
just 30, 34. So I was just conferred as a certified hospital administrator last month. I think I'm the youngest, one of the youngest. I don't want to say the youngest, but one of the youngest medical or hospital administrators here in the Philippines. So yeah,
That
I think
is
we're
crazy.
relatively
That
young.
that is crazy. So really congrats for that. And I also just heard that you graduated with merit from the South Wales University, and
Yeah,
also
yeah,
at the same time have another master's degree in management.
yes,
Incredible, incredible. So yeah, I'm really, as we met also the first time, really surprised by what you're doing all next to each other, basically everything next to each other. So an important, or for me at least, super interesting question is, how do you manage to do that? Like, what does like a normal day in
yeah.
Rainier's life look like?
It's so funny because yeah, I just remember how we met because I'm at that time I was from a business trip and I usually a very reflective type of person, and I usually not just reflective, I'm very visual, so I need to write things. And I think you commented that I'm very organized because everything is bulleted. So yeah. So for my everyday routine or regular routine, I usually wake up 3 hours earlier. Um, what I need to wake up, like for example, uh, my work time here in the office. Actually, as a chief medical director, I don't have a time. I have my own time, whatever time I want to go to the office. But since for me, I'm a believer that you have to lead by example. So I need to be in the office like 1 hour earlier because I need to prepare things like, of course, I need to have my coffee. But before going to office, sorry, I'm backtracking. So when I wake up, of course, I thank God first. That's number one for me. Because thanking God is like attracting all the positive energy in the universe. And I'm not thanking God because of the things, because of waking up only. I thank Him for the all the blessings that I will be receiving on that day. So I'm claiming and I'm declaring that I will be receiving all the blessings and I will have all the positive results that I'm expecting for that day. And after that, I do the rosary. Yeah, I've been doing the Holy Rosary for I think more than 5 years already.
The
And
rosary? Sorry, what is the
yeah,
rosary?
The Holy Rosary.
What does it mean? I'm sorry.
So the rosary is the one you know the beads, the Holy Rosary by of the Catholic.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
it takes 20 minutes to do that. I downloaded an app, a recorded Holy Rosary prayer. So whenever I listen to that, I do also my meditation. That's also my meditation. And then after that, I prepare my breakfast and of coffee, fruits and vegetable, and then I go to office. So I have 1 hour before the people comes in. So on that 1 hour, I prepare my table, I prepare all the folders, I'm checking the list that I need to do. Because before I sleep at night, I usually put all the, I do the checklist. Because technically, I'm not a morning person. During the morning, my mind is like floating. I cannot remember what do I need to do today. But since I already did it night before, so it's already organized. Because it's frustrate me if I really cannot remember, and then suddenly lunchtime I will remember, oh, I need to do this or that. So like that. So during the morning, so I will check on the different departments because there's like 5 departments in here. I usually check the dialysis to check if everything is okay, the all patients are all okay. If there's any new patients in the clinic that needs my consultation, if I have an appointment for that day, I will ask the clinic officer. And then after that, I go to our main office and ask my managers one by one how are they doing, how is their department, if there's any problem or anything like that. And then I go lunch with them, with my managers. And then afternoon is more of follow up and checking me. I give responsibility to myself to look for business opportunities during the afternoon, because during afternoon my mind is really awake already. And then that's why I'm okay with this interview done here in the afternoon because I'm already very awake. And then nighttime, uh, it's either I go for a wine with my friends or I go with my staff. I usually invite them, like for example, the utility person, the nurses, the frontliners, because sometimes they are the one who are very exposed to burnout, burnout. So I took them outside, and I have this technique I learned in master's degree that you have to unfreeze them. Sometimes if they have hard time, but then the leader have time to ask them about how's your family outside work and to connect with them, then working with them is better because after all leadership is all about relationships. So what I learned here, and I want to also emphasize, maybe I can also integrate this about commitment and compliance. So when we say commitment, it's something coming from love. So if your employee or your staff loves you, they will do everything with commitment, even if they don't tell you or you don't instruct them what to do. Sometimes they're gonna be more proactive in reporting and even proactive in thinking things how to improve the company versus being compliant. They're just gonna do what you say, and then
Mm.
that's all. Done deal. I will not think about other things. I don't have any concern. And the compliance is coming from fear, not coming from love. So I want to be a leader who serves with a heart. It may sound very mushy or whatsoever, but for me, fuels all the essences or values we need in life. If you have love, you can serve with excellence. You can show your love by caring to the company and to the patients. So for you to be able to love someone, you have to know them. And for you to know them, you have to have time with them because time is very important. I mean, time is really a gift. So I usually give time to my staff to bond with them or even just go there and how are you, how is patient? I mean, so those kind of things. And then at night, I before I sleep, I bond with my cats. So I have 2 cats, Persian cats. I tried dog, but the dog are very like, if I mean, at the end of the day, you're very tired. And sometimes the dog are very energetic, and I don't know why I don't align with dog at that same level of energy. The cat are very sweet. I mean, very gentle. So yeah, it's like cooling down for me, and that's also the time I bond with my plants. I have a lot of plants, so I water them, and sometimes I talk to them. So yeah, that's my typical day for Dr. Rainier's day.
That is a lot, and also a lot of really cool stuff. So that you like, I guess no, I see that you're obviously super self-aware of like your strength and like that you are not such a morning person, so you review your task in the evening, but also that
Yeah.
you just are so responsible with your staff.
Yeah, because you know what? Because with this type of I mean, with this role, it's very stressful to be honest. But if you have this mindfulness or awareness that you're using this role to serve, then everything has
Mm,
it becomes meaningful, and it has purpose now, and it's like it will not be very tiring. It will be full of excitement and passion, unlike just doing it because you're in that position. So it's a big difference doing things with awareness and mindfulness. That, for example, sometimes not all the time you will receive a good news.
sure.
I mean, with this position, for example, patient is complaining, or we're not hitting our sales target. It's very stressful if you hear those kind of bad news. But on the other hand, leaders are created to resolve conflicts. Those are opportunities for you to shine and rise above, transcends the situation, for you to show how type of leader you are. Are you gonna be sad, really like sad all day, and everyone will be affected by your sadness and anger? So I'm
Yeah,
not that type. I will use that conflict to be my opportunity for me to inspire you that it's okay. Next month we'll do better. We're gonna do our analytics. We're gonna check everything, why it's not working, what we could have done better.
yeah,
Then I think that will inspire them. I mean, by being mindful will also inspire people.
definitely.
Yeah.
But it seems that it is not the most common way to think as medical director,
Actually,
like that way. So then the
yeah.
question is, where, like, was there a situation, or like, when did you notice that you are thinking differently in this direction?
Yeah, I think I shared with you before my story, and I just want to be also reminded by that story that when I went back in the Philippines, I'm so sad because my wanting to be medical oncology will not push through. At that moment, I questioned myself, or to be honest, I questioned God, what's happening? I'm already in John Hopkins, and now you're bringing me back. So what am I gonna do? How can I start? This company is given to me. What is a startup? Yes, I'm the medical director, but I have no people under me. I found myself walking in the street of one big city of here in the Philippines, which is Makati, and I'm the one doing the photocopy, the scanning of documents, and then me comparing my life being an medical officer in Singapore and now walking in the street alone. What's happening? And then I prayed, and then I asked God, can you please send me the right people, or at least send me to the right community for me to have a support system. And I'm so fortunate enough that one of my friend posted about this leadership training, and I'm so curious about it because I know I'm a leader. Because being a head of a company, there's two things. You need to be a leader, and you need to be a manager. So I took the masteral in management for the manager. I need to invest again to being a leader because now again I'm self-doubting. I'm 34. Am I good enough? Yes, I introduced myself to a lot of people as the chief medical director here in the Philippines, but do I have people I don't have? So when I went into that community, the community is full of positive energy, and they taught me all the essences. Essences means the values we have when we were born. We were born with love. We were born with self worth. We have responsibility, honesty, and integrity. All the good things we have it when we were born. What happened? What happened? Because of the environment, the influences by our parents, peers, and everything. Sometimes our heart gets in the dark. We forget about gratitude.
Mm.
And the three things actually I've learned in that leadership is number one is self-love. Self-love that, I mean, for the past few years in my life, I think all of these years of going to medicine, serving in the hospital, it's all about giving. It's all about serving other people. I want to serve, I want to inspire. But I forgot that there's one person who's been so loyal to me, never left me whatever happens, and that's myself. And I reminded myself of the Bible's saying in the Bible, saying, one is love God, second is love others. I forgot the continuation, as you love yourself. So loving others should also be equal to loving yourself. You should also love yourself because you cannot give love to other people if you don't love yourself. You cannot give that something that you don't have. So that's number one. And by loving myself, I learn now to love myself. I understand now what self-worth is all about.
What is it about?
Sometimes it's not free everything. It doesn't mean that you're gonna say yes to everything, because sometimes saying no to others is also saying yes to yourself, being responsible to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the values that I shared with you, like being compassion, responsibility, it should not only be giving. You should also be compassionate to yourself. You know you're already tired, so don't say yes always. If you're tired, just say, I'm tired, can we just stop? You have to be responsible. If you don't have sleep for like this very long hours, then you can be responsible in saying no. So that's the second one, self-worth. And the third one, this one is the one that I really forgot, is the gratitude part. I forgot that, hey, you're given the opportunity to start a company. You have this position, they're gonna be giving you fund to start. Where are you being a victim? You all have the resources. There's abundance. So those three things I learned. So I was able to form this company and get to where I am right now. So realizing these things and me being in that leadership seminar made me establish my purpose, which is to lead, and lead people to know their purpose, because that excites me. So I think that's my ikigai.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Maybe also explain a bit ikigai. I don't think everybody knows that.
Ikigai. So ikigai is, I think, it's a Japanese principle. I forgot the hard meaning of it, but it to be simple, it just means your purpose. So ikigai is, if you gonna draw 4 circles, the first circle will be what excites you, what makes you happy, even if you're doing it the whole day, you're not tired. The next one is, what are you good at? What are the skills? What do you have? What are your strengths?
Yeah.
And the next one is uh where what aspect in your life can you what do you call that? Earn money. And the last one is what what the world's need, what the world needs.
Yeah.
So the area where the four circles meet
Yeah.
is your ikigai. It's your purpose. It's like I'm good. I'm excited in leading people to know their purpose. Next is I'm good at leading, and I'm also now good in managing people.
Mm-hmm.
Next is I'm earning because I'm the head of the company. And next is the message to the world, or what the world needs. And that is someone who leads to inspire others to know their purpose. So that's my ikigai, to serve and to inspire. So I mean, I've been having this crisis when I went back to the Philippines, but I realized that this purpose was I already started when even during college. I've been a leader of different organization. I'm very happy. I just forgot because of the issues that I face, the ego of coming back in the Philippines and having nothing. Having nothing, I thought I have nothing, but I actually am abundant, and I just need to practice gratefulness or gratitude. So yeah, so
That's
that's ikigai. So
I
yeah.
as you saw, I didn't interrupt you at any second. It was awesome to listen to. It was great
Oh,
to
thank you,
see
thank
your
you.
to see your whole congruence also throughout the whole explanation. And what were the 3 points, like the self-love, the self-worth,
Word and
and
gratitude.
gratitude. I feel
Yeah.
these are really, really important concepts. So awesome that you mentioned
Yeah.
them.
You know, the millennials right now, they have to be reminded of those things because just to share with you, there's an increasing depression rate for the millennials, and what's scary is the incoming generation after millennials. We're seeing that there are more people or young people that will have depression. But I think if the world will teach or share about these three things or three great values, then I think it will help us a lot. It will
Mm.
help significantly in a world that we are hyper connected. Sometimes hyper connection is have also adverse effect, because
Definitely
you
has, yeah.
being connected to other people you don't know, and you keep seeing that they're like succeeding, they're posting that they're in the beach like that. They're like always every like every week they're on the beach, but if you're gonna ask them, actually they don't have money. And why are you doing that? Do you want to show that you're doing well even if you're not?
Yeah.
Is it because of the unworthiness? You want to prove to people uh, that you're doing something? So I think one of the big issue right now is the unworthiness. So we really have to teach self-worth and self-love and gratitude, because they're very connected to each other.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
This has been super deep already, I feel, but I still
Oh yeah.
wanna, but I still wanna ask you maybe a bit more personal. Like, would you
Sure.
consider yourself as then a creative person, or more like the brain thinking person and overthinking person, maybe?
I think I'm a hybrid, or depending on but
That's
wait,
not an
if you're
option.
gonna ask me what
Yeah.
what what will be my default,
Yeah.
I will be a creative person.
Hmm.
I dance, I paint, and I mean, I'm into colors, I'm into the lines, forms, and everything like that. It's excite me also. So if you're gonna ask me about other things that excite me, it's the arts. That's why I like culture, the painting, the sculpture. The thinking part is maybe because I was trained to be that kind of person also. Being a biochemistry is not about creativity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes creative, what to mix, like, being innovative, because that's where creativity comes in sciences.
Hmm.
But yeah, in biochemistry, we're taught to analyze, and of course, in medicine also, we are taught to analyze. But I think my default is being a creative person.
Hmm.
Yeah, if I'm going to reflect back, I'm very resourceful because I'm creative.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So I'm
totally
not
agree. I also had the notion of that. What would you think I am a kind of person, rather the like thinking or more the creative person?
okay. I think you're a very thinking person. I don't know because we only met one day. What we did is more of analysis about life. We didn't talk about anything related to arts, or so I may not be a
No, but
proper authority to actually, but what I feel is you really are a thinker. Yeah, mental,
no,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
I think you're totally right. That I like
And then you're
my
taking
default.
psychology.
Yeah.
So it's very aligned that you're very mental.
No, I do agree that I'm like my default, as you just said it right, is probably starting thinking, okay, and then afterwards, okay, how do I feel about it? So I think
Yeah.
you assessed it after it was not even a full 24 hours. It was just like half a day. Totally right.
Yeah.
Um, and if you think about, well, you with in the age of 34, you're already
Yeah.
medical chief medical director and achieve like so many degrees and have so many things also on the side, the leadership program or whatsoever.
Yes.
Like there's a
Yes.
whole bunch what you're doing.
Yeah.
What do you, if you imagine yourself now 5 years ahead, so basically almost 40, what would your life look like in 5 years?
To be honest, it's very hard to say. I mean,
It's not an easy
uh,
question,
it's
that's for
it's
sure.
it's an it's a usual question in the leadership training
Yeah.
because vision is very important. To be honest, I'm gonna be asked, maybe we can rephrase the question. What do you want to be 5 years from now, or when you're already 40 years old?
Yeah,
What
sure,
I want
basically, yeah.
actually is to have to be out of the corporate world, maybe, but I am not sure about it yet. I
That's
want
interesting.
to have a resort. I want to have a resort where people can in and will have healing. I don't know. I'm going into some spiritual thing right now, into like the aura and everything. And yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a believer of those things, like like talking about energy and metaphysics. I don't know. I mean,
You
I'm
can say
actually
everything.
at the
No,
point in
it's
my
okay.
life that
Yeah.
my life it that I believe in the energy of the universe.
Hmm.
It's connected with science because I do believe that in the teaching that you cannot create or destroy energy. You just convert it. So whatever energy you contribute to the universe, it goes back to you. So if you're like shining very bright energy, then the universe will give you much more energy that is brighter. But if you're a very dark person, you don't expect bright energy unless you break through.
Yeah.
So I would like to have a place wherein people can rest, and it's not about status quo, it's not about the degree, it's not about the achievements. I'm one of the witness of that it's not about the achievement. Before I was achieving because I want to prove something, but right now I'm achieving because I want to share to the world that even if you're not the top of the class, even if you're not from a very rich family, you can still achieve what you want. First is you should know about what you want,
Mhm.
and then do all the things towards that point B. So 4 years from now or 5 years from now, I want to have that place, and I don't want to stress myself already. Maybe I will have my own business, which is all about maybe food, spa, because I love massage, that. And yeah, it's all about giving time for myself to rest, but still earning money because earning money is still important, not because I'm selfish, but you have the opportunity to help a lot of people, including yourself, if you have the
Mm.
means,
I love this
right?
perspective. Yeah, I do agree totally with that. Because
Yeah.
before I was also most of the time actually like thinking, or yeah, not really consciously thinking, but I had it in mind like, okay, a lot of people who are, at least like the perspective in Germany, a lot of people who have money are like kind of seen as
Evil.
yeah, yeah, also I guess, or a bit of arrogant, and they show
Yeah.
off and stuff like that. So I guess there was always like an unconscious of like, yeah, I might not be really wanted to be rich and don't have this, and but yeah, I adopted the same perspective as you, like, but also when I have that money, I don't like there's no need to show something to show off or anything what
Yeah.
usually before like had as a negative opinion in mind, but actually you can have a lot of power that you can use for a really good course, and so that is
It's all
really.
about the purpose at the end of the
Indeed,
day.
yes. And so that actually also shifted my mindset in this direction, or it was really significant. So I can just 100% agree with that. So that's awesome. And you also mentioned you looked a lot more into like this energy part, and you looked a lot more into the metaphysics.
Yeah.
What was your most spiritual experience you had so far in
Okay.
this regard?
One of my, I have a lot, but one of the things that struck me the most is during I attended the second phase of my leadership training. Actually, it's not just a leadership training, but I believe it's a life workshop or seminar. That after I shared all my experiences and all the things that I'm carrying, someone just hugged me and told me that uh, she's loving me. I mean, love is very powerful that it can transform someone. It doesn't need to be like we know each other for a very long time. Love is about caring, and when someone shows how caring they are about their story without any like they don't earn money from this or something like that, then it's really striking. It's really striking, and the hug is like very uplifting. I mean, it's very difficult to describe, but it's like after that hug and the saying of I love you, all the anger, all the self-doubt, the unworthiness somehow was pacified by just that hugging and saying that. If someone can love you, why can't you love yourself authentically,
Hmm.
right? It
Yes.
reminds you that wait, other people loves you. Why don't you be loyal to yourself and love yourself, and from loving yourself you know your self-worth. So yeah.
Super important, yes. I can just only agree. That is, wow. Also, the way you
So
say
that's
it's quite powerful. So thanks for sharing
that's
that.
very spiritual. So I really do right. That's why I now meditate every day. It's either when I wake up or before I sleep, or if, for example, in the middle of the day I'm having a bad day, I I really will attempt to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not attempt, but I will choose to stop and meditate and remind myself, where are you right now? Why are you doing this? What could have worked better? or remind me that I'm worthy, that a lot of people loving me, and I love myself. So yeah, if they don't love me, at least I love myself. So yeah, and then after that meditation, of course, the energy is there again, and then you are reminded of your purpose, then ready to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned multiple times already that your belief in religion is really important to you. How can you combine this with also your super highly medical direction, so with the science basically? Because that is a
Yeah.
quite often asked question, like how do you combine science and religion?
And religion.
Yes.
Religion.
Yeah.
Correct. So I don't know if I'm a very religious type, but I do practice uh, my Catholic belief. So one practice is it's always start with yourself. Religion is about belief, and Catholic the center of Catholicism is Jesus, right? And Jesus represents love, unconditional love.
Hmm.
So that unconditional love, you can have that principle in a role that's very stressful. For example, I give you an assignment or a task or responsibility. I give a staff a responsibility, and he or she was not able to perform. If I am not mindful about me being a Catholic or a Christian, then I will just be angry about it. But me being a Catholic and practicing unconditional love means it also connected to being compassion.
Hmm.
Ask first, listen first. Don't get angry first. Calm yourself. There's the ego, there's the human instinct to be mad, right? I don't invalidate that. But you can control yourself because there's nothing in this world you can control. It's like the fish cannot control the ocean. The ocean has been there before the fish hatched from the egg, right? But you can control yourself. You can control your emotions, right? You can calm yourself first, and you can ask why did you were not able to do it, and then from there you can be objective. If the person is having a problem, then call the immediate senior supervisor and have a talk or counsel. And that one, being compassionate, I think that's a combination. Number number two, I think is integrity. I think even if you're not Catholic or what, integrity should play a role in being a doctor or being in this role,
I would
because
also
integrity,
say it's not only for being a doctor, but for a human being, to
yeah,
be
for
honest.
everyone,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because integrity is speak about authenticity.
hmm.
If I get mad because uh for example, if I get mad because that person was not able to do it, then integrity and being responsibility, did I give the instruction well,
Hmm.
or did I instruct the supervisor to look after that person? So being unconditional is like you love that person, but you're not asking in return. But then, of course, you have to remember you're in a company, you're in the corporate world, you also have to be responsible to your company. The revenue, the sales, and the things that that person was not able to do. So you have to balance it. And balancing it needs a lot of being objective. And me being creative, being emotional, I really have to be objective. I really have to practice again unconditional love to myself so that it's okay if he's hurt after my decision, but I'm just being responsible.
Okay.
And also to the company, I hope you resonate with me, but you really need a lot of love here by being patient, being compassionate, you know. And I think it really doesn't need to be a Catholic. Like what you've said, it's it's a basic uh, values that everyone should have.
Yeah, I think also especially in those areas, um, actually quite. I'm not sure about every religion, but it seems at least that a lot of religions are overlapping in those areas. Like how they, I mean, they most of them give you a guideline also on how to live life, right? And in those areas, they're hugely overlapping and loving yourself, loving others unconditionally,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
it usually just yeah, it's just usually put in different words, as it seems to me at least. So I think in in that regard, a lot of things are super similar, and a lot of things are in religion. Um, Even though I don't know, I don't feel super connected to religion right now, to the religious institutes, but I do
Mm.
think and do feel that this is just so important, and this is um, actually also how I live my life. So like the
But
compassion,
I
the
have a question.
self-love. Yeah,
Yeah. Do
yeah,
you believe in the energy of the universe?
I do that, yes.
So maybe you may not call it a religion, but it's the similar
That's what I
thing,
mean. Yeah.
right?
So I don't believe in like the religious um, institutions, because they are built just by humans, most or quite often for the fear for death or anything like in this regard, and this just seems not right, or it just doesn't make sense for me. However, there is, yes, there must be some like energy. We consist out of energy, and all this is happening. So there, for me, there is this energy, but I don't see it as the religion as we usually call it, like the Christianity or Muslims or whatever. It's That's something different, I feel.
Yeah. So I think you are correct with that. It's all about the energy and everything, but in the Philippines, we are mainly Catholic, and the religion is plays a major part in our culture.
Huge,
And
yes.
saying no to it sometimes it's like saying no to your family also. But as per result, I mean, my religion transforms me and supports me. Not, I don't mean like religion that the people there are like supporting me, but the teaching that I get, that I have from my religion helps me every day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm combining the meditation with the prayer, like that, because not all Catholics are into meditation, but technically when you pray, it's like a meditation also. So
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing. For example, I also do meditate every single day and do think about like my thoughts, what I've done, but also that I want to give the compassion to others, want to put me on a higher energetic
yeah,
level so I can spread the positivity. And this is, I guess, pretty similar to what you're doing in connection to the religion, but it's just that I don't call it as the man-made construct, the Christianity. But in terms, it's actually pretty similar indeed.
yeah. But have you been born to a family with religion?
Yeah, it's Christianity as well.
Oh, Christianity.
Yeah, Catholic as well.
Okay.
But I also actually noticed that when I was in the Philippines, that people were asking me, so the people who I was visiting there, and yeah, I said like, yeah, I was born Christian, but I don't really believe in it. And then they really looked weird at me, like, what's happening? Why is he so
It's
like?
actually very weird for us.
I noticed
It's
that.
like my experience when I went to Singapore. Like there's a lot of what they call themselves as free thinkers that they have. And for me, I have a judgment on an initial, not like, I mean, it's like a shock for me that, oh, there's really people who don't have religion, maybe because of our differences. But when met them, I mean, worked with them, I see that, oh, they're like Catholic also, even if they don't have religion, they're very responsible, very loving. It's just that they don't pray, they don't have like God. And of course, you, when I met you, yeah, it's like a normal person. That's why that, the normal and not normal. So yeah, for us Filipinos, it's, yeah, for generally it's a bit weird to know that someone has no religion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 2019 now, so
I hope, yeah. I mean, it's just like the openness to accept the other's perspective. I obviously know like that there are other perspectives as well, and they also make totally sense, or it helps them, and that's what is, I feel, most important. If they, with this belief, get empowered through it and it helps them,
mm,
then go for it. The only thing what I especially find a bit, yeah, not empowering was that when you pray, you ask basically somebody to help you achieve something, or to that he does everything for you, basically, right? But
where is this? Sorry to cut you. This
with
is the Catholic.
in like the prayer, for example, you
Okay.
ask God or Jesus to help you get somewhere. Please make this happen for me. Like this is at least what I had in mind usually what a prayer is. And I just don't like the perspective that you ask somebody for helping you to get where you want to be, because I see just it, for me it just doesn't make sense to ask somebody who I'm not sure there is, and I just can't 100% believe in the abilities I have, and so try to just push them yeah, as forward as I can, and just do everything what I am capable of to. So basically, having the responsibility of myself, and that's all I can do, and everything else is beyond my capabilities. So just praying for that doesn't make sense when I just need to look at, okay, what can I do? So then I do this for 100% and do take the responsibility of it.
Fair enough. You have
100%.
your own belief, and sometimes our beliefs are honed by our experience.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So even if we discuss about our experience, for sure, uh, we have our own differences in terms of really religion. That's why whenever I see my friends or experience that or notice that some of my friends are discussing about the differences in their religion, I want to say it will be endless. So there's no point because we have our own religion, and sometimes we have them not because sometimes we follow them. Some of the people do have that religion because they have attachment to that religion in terms of the family and the culture and everything. The sense of belongingness is there. They pray together. There's collective consciousness about that activity. So yeah, it depends on your perspective. Me particularly, um, that's why I'm asking myself, am I really religious or not? But I do practice Catholicism because there are some practices that I don't do. But for me, at the end of the day, as long as you're doing good and you're for me speaking to God directly and asking for forgiveness or thanking Him, being grateful, then I think it's fine. Yeah, you don't need a middle person. But for me, yeah, middle person like a priest to do something for me. But sometimes I don't know. Whenever I have priest in front of me, the energy is different. Even I'm not not believer, but like I'm not into like in Philippines we have like this, right? Like it serves like for the for example me and the priest, if I'm doing this, it means that I'm respecting that priest, and the priest giving his hand is like giving the blessing.
Yeah.
So that's a very unique Filipino
Mm-hmm.
trait. But I usually don't do that. But sometimes if I'm with a priest, especially if that priest really like very the spiritual energy is really high, like Pope, it's different. It's different. I don't know. Like Pope Francis, when he's here in the Philippines, the energy is very different. Even if I'm just seeing him on the television, it's really different energy. So sometimes I cannot explain. It's if it's all about religion and the guidelines and everything, but sometimes it's spiritual also. So for me, it's also hard to question every point.
Yeah, that's
Even if
interesting.
you know, as a human, you have question, but
Yeah.
Catholicism is faith, and it's all about believing what you don't see.
But I also
So
think, despite all the differences between like the spirituality and different religions, there are just also a ton of overlap. So, for example, we basically do a lot of similar routines, just that you're feeling connected to the religion, and I just not. That's what I just also find really interesting. And maybe
yes,
then moving a bit from the topic of religion
religion.
to what are maybe also some things that, even though you've achieved so many things already, like what are some things you were scared of?
Scared of.
Yeah.
Very general.
So basically, in the context of what you're scared of to achieve, or what are you scared of, like might happen to you.
Yeah, of course, the general things like dying alone
Mm-hmm.
or having sickness. Because for me, I think I still have a lot of things to contribute in this world. There's still a lot of people who don't know my story, and I believe that my story is very inspiring. And I know that there's a lot of people, Filipinos specifically, who will resonate with me, who will resonate with my story, my rise above story. So, yeah, I'm scared of dying.
Hmm.
I mean, it's very ironic because if you're a Catholic, the teaching is you should be ready, but I'm not yet ready. Lord, I'm not yet ready. I think there's still a lot of things not to achieve, but more of to inspire. And of course, I want to still have my own family and of course have more time with my immediate family. So yeah, those are the things that I'm scared about, and of
Mm.
course, scared of losing my self worth again.
Okay.
So that's very scary because with all the achievements and everything, why would you lose your self worth? So meaning if that happens, that's a big thing. So that scares me.
Oh, that's unexpected, but I totally understand. Yeah, that I mean that is maybe even like the source of everything that's built up upon that. The self-worth is important, otherwise you couldn't share your story
Agree,
properly and
agree.
love, as well as
That's
love
the
other people.
foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
Hmm. And maybe I mean, we always, what is it, like almost an hour already have
Oh,
talked.
really?
Yeah.
I
Um,
didn't notice it.
it was really, really interesting and also to listen to you. But I also still want to ask you another question, which
Sure.
is, if you could choose any superpower, which
Hmm.
one would you choose?
Actually, I'm asking myself that question, and what if you have the magic pill, what disease will you cure? Those kind of things I'm asking myself because I'm not sharing with you. I'm being trained right now to be a life coach.
Hmm.
I'll be a life coach in January 2020. So I said yes to this interview because I think this is a preparation also for me to reflect. And your questions are very reflective. and I saw your podcast before with other amazing people, and they're very empowering and gives clarity. So I think what I would like is because I have the talent to persuade, I have the talent to inspire, I have the talent to empower. I want to know I want to have the superpower of reading people's mind, because if I know that they are not enrolled with what I'm saying, then I will like inspire them more, empower them more.
Mm.
If if someone is thinking about negative things, then I have the ability to change it, or not change, but I of course I cannot change someone, but at least inspire or influence that person to see the beauty, to see the light on that situation, and whatever situation it may be,
Mm-hmm.
dark or the darkest, then you will always rise above. You will always rise above and transcend situation or any circumstances. And yeah, that superpower, I think I need that. Although I have the ability to read uh, their mind or people's mind using the eyes.
Indeed,
But
yeah.
it will be more clear to me if I really can like see, like not convince or what or whatsoever, really feel, or what are they thinking, so that
Yeah.
I can answer it proactively
Mm.
or address it proactively.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really honorable cause, to be honest. When I wrote this question, I was just like having in mind to just like
But your
any random joy or any fun
yeah.
activity you wanted to do, like fly or beam or having super long arms. I don't know, like anything one
Yeah.
could imagine like that. Um, and then the second last one is, what would you do if you didn't care about what other people think of you? Would it change some things you would do, or get you more proactively, or anything like that? Like that?
If we will rephrase that s- question, it's like, what are your regrets in life? So actually, I'm here right now because of the self-doubt I have before, of the negative things I have before. So what will be, I mean, what's again the verbatim question you have? If
If
you don't,
if you don't care what other people would think
oh
of
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like what I'm saying, initially, I took all of these things, not all of these things, but I did achieve a lot of things because I was thinking about what will other people say. And that includes my family, and that includes the people I love, that includes the people who influence me. So for me, we can also look, I mean, initially I took that question about, I mean, associated to regrets. But in a positive light, I'm thinking right now, you can also coin that question if you want to think of feedback. And feedback is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So if your question is about feedback, positive or negative feedback, still feedback. It's very important. Feedback, you don't need to be like directly influenced, but at least you have some points to think about. So going back to the question, I actually don't know where I will be if I don't listen to this negative and positive feedback, because most of my life I've been achieving because I listen to the negative criticism of other people. I try to prove something to them. But I think the answer is right now, I just thought about it. If I don't listen with them, I'm not that tempting to build a place for healing during my 40s. Is that, yeah, it tells me that half of my life I've been achieving because I want to prove something, and I got tired of it. So if I don't care about other people did say before, then maybe I'm still an achiever, but I'm not that tired.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Um, then actually, I think the last question, and it is
Wow.
quite, quite a tough
Very
one.
fast. I thought it will be very long, but it's actually 1 hour.
Yeah,
More than.
it is already, yeah. So, what would you like to be remembered for?
I think I have that line before. I did when I was the president still of our fraternity. Is that I aspiring to achieve, achieving to inspire.
Mm-hmm.
So still that declaration resonates with me right now, and I want to be remembered as someone not as achiever, but who uses his story, or who used his story to inspire a lot of people. Especially right now, there's a lot of noise and a lot of people saying these things and that. I want to be that someone who will inspire people that self-love, gratitude, and self-worth is very important. This is very important. So yeah, that I think.
These are some awesome
That's,
final words of the podcast episode.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you very much.
Um,
I'm hoping, and I know that there's a lot of people listening to this, and I hope that they will inspire. I mean, they will be inspired by this, by the conversation we have, and I hope that they will resonate.